I'm Stumpy Nubs, this is Mustache Mike, and we're taking a break from our online woodworking show to get some answers. You see, I've been using a Tormek for a while now, and even though I tell people I like it, they still want to know what makes it worth the, well, let's face it, significant investment. Now, I could give you my opinion again, but I thought it would be better to just go right to the source and see if they could convince us. So, through Affinity Tools, we arranged to meet with Stig, the face of Tormek Sweden.
Hi, I'm Stumpy. Welcome to our country.
He was nice enough to fly down and spend the whole day with us. We asked him about the company, the machine, the jigs, the price, everything. I even brought some tools to see if I could challenge him. By the end of this video, you'll have more information about Tormek than you'll ever get anywhere else. And you'll be able to make your own decision. So sit back and have a cold one. Let's get started.
What was the first question?
I was browsing your website and I noticed you have the Friends section on the Tormek website.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what that's all about.
They are Tormek users and extremely talented, doing great stuff with their talents. And of course, the thing we have in common is they use Tormek. So we wanted to show people how they use Tormek, and I mean, everybody can have the same tools if you have the Tormek. And maybe, can fulfill your dreams a little faster than trying to learn it freehand. It's kind of cool to show where they are from, surroundings, and some of them will show places they go to for inspiration and stuff. So it's, and I think, actually, I haven't seen anybody else doing kind of movies that way. We don't show Tormek, we actually show kind of their life also. You get a glimpse of what they are doing every day.
Yeah, as a woodworker, I always think about woodworking, but it shows a lot of other crafts that use it.
Well, if you want to make some really exciting stuff, extremely sharp tools, and the smallest amount of a burr will show you that it's not sharp enough.
I think a lot of the reason that people hold back from purchasing something like this is the investment, the initial investment. So how does a person justify spending that much for just sharpening?
Well, it's like this. So this machine will work for 25,000 hours, and the initial cost is a bit high, but it will work for 25 years or so. I mean, this stone can sharpen tools, don't shorten them. That's the cool thing with Tormek. If I'm sharpening a gouge or something, it would cost me about 4 cents. And when you start to think about maybe sandpaper and stuff, the cost will actually, maybe in the end, be more expensive with a cheaper system. So we have this great stone that don't wear down, and in the end, you will actually save money on it. We had this customer who wrote us that the first time he saw Tormek was 18 years ago. He bought a Tormek, had it for 1 month, and then he wrote to us and said, "Can't believe I didn't buy it once." He saves tools and just can see it after 1 month. That's cool. That's impressive.
Most of the people that I talk to that really like the Tormek are turners, because there's so many tools that they have that have complex profiles, gouges, things like that. But woodworkers tend to have less of those tools, maybe just planes, a couple planes, a couple sets of chisels. How does a woodworker then justify the investment in something like a Tormek?
Well, I never met a woodworker that doesn't have other tools anyhow. But they have knives, axes, scissors. Many of them have a wife and who wants a knife sharpened. So I mean, you can do so many things. It's not only for those things. You really want that perfect edge. So you can do a lot more than those tools.
What do you use your Tormek to sharpen?
Knives.
Knives.
Knives and chisels. That's primarily. Before I started working at Tormek, I thought I had sharp knives, and my wife thought so. But now she's even more happy. That's cool.
Well, tell us about what's inside the Tormek, because we keep coming back to the investment. I want to be sure that it's going to last a long time.
The first thing is the motor. It's an industrial AC motor. can run for 25,000 hours. We have a very advanced gear system, so even if you do a lot of pressure, it will keep that same RPM. You have the wheel down here, and when I put some pressure on, you'll see it starts to dig in the rubber wheel, and you can see that's what is running the motor. Again, so you can't do this without very precise stuff, and you need exact blend of rubber. Everything must be as precise as possible. This is unique, and it works really well. And we found during 40 years that this RPM is the best one, the most efficient one. So even if you just give it a lot of power, or you need to apply a lot of pressure, still it's going to run. Stainless shafts.
Tell me what's the point of the stainless shaft?
Because it's in water, and you have bearings, and it will wear down the bushings, make it rust, and even can make a stone crack because rust is strong. So we made it with a highly precision stainless shaft now, and even with the easy lock system, so you can change stones if you want to. The paint job doesn't rust anymore. Can't be better. So we do all of these things. We, like you said, inside our rubber is specialized for this machine. We have small easy things like a handle with one screw just to clean it easier. Take away the water, and of course the stone is very long lasting. 71 was the first machine, and then neighbors wanted it, and we were the first ones made a machine like this. And there are copies on the market, but they don't last. And I think the thing that is unique with Tormek is we are 100% dedicated to doing these machines, and we don't have other things that would take time from what we're doing. I mean, every day for us is a work to do it even better. And even if we have a machine that's, let's say, 20 years old, you can still buy the new water tray, a new shaft that will work on the old machine, and that's quite unique today.
Before they had the stainless shafts.
Yes, and the new shaft will give you even new bushings. So we try to do everything as good as possible, so we know that 10 years warranty easily could be more, but we want the customer to feel that this is a one-time buy and it will last for generations.
Oh, tell me a little bit about how you go about developing jigs, or how you have over the years.
Well, I would say a lot of the ideas or questions, of course, come from what kind of tools that people are using, and we can see that it's a market for it. We'll try to make that jig. To get an idea could take from 1 week to a year, and then we need to make it as good as possible. And when we think we have done it as good as possible, it will take as long again to really be sure that the customer will have a 100% Tormek brand in the hand. One thing I would say also, something we are extremely proud over is the sleeves and how precise they are. That means doing that as good as possible means you can actually replicate the same angle time after time after time. We do all our jigs in aluminum or zinc, and copies are often just like
Cast metal.
You don't get they are not precise. They look the same, but you won't get a square edge on a tool like that.
I wasn't originally aware that you didn't have to use just the stone that came with it. You offer a couple of other stones. What are those, and what are they for?
We have other stones for, let's say you have a lot of larger tool, planer blades, or tools with a lot of surface you need to sharpen up. That's when we have the silicon carbide stone, 250. It's you can only buy it for the T7. Still, it's 220 grit. It's actually possible to polish it up to 1,000 grit and go back, exactly as the SG stone. Very good for harder materials. Not so. You don't need to buy this one for knives and chisels because standard stone is perfect. But when you need to have some more work faster done, this is the right stone to buy. And of course, then we have this stone, Japanese stone, 4,000 grit, and you can feel it.
Wow.
It's for those who are really committed and really wants that perfect edge. Furniture builders, those who are with wood carving, that kind of tools. I usually tell people when you have sharpened a knife on the SG 250 and you're cutting here on your arm, they just pop off. But if you actually use the Japanese stone 251, do the same thing. It starts to itch. It will take a fine cut of the skin. And it's just extremely good. You will have that edge perfect. A lot of wood carvers actually got a hunting group in Sweden who only sharpen knives, and they bought this one because it's fun to have that edge. We have had people who saying that looks like an 8,000 grit stone, but I guess it's the speed, works really good. And the cool thing is this thing, you can just put it on because we have a easy lock. That means you can easily change the stone and put that on. And you don't need to soak it. And of course, this is this stone you buy once in a lifetime. It's gonna last for a long, long time if you don't drop it on the floor. And so we made these two stones 6-7 years ago, so we could offer our customers some better edges if they needed to.
Now, you don't use a stone grater on this one, but you can on this and on the standard stone. Is that correct?
Actually, the stone grater is good to use on every stone.
You can use it on that.
Yes. So when you have used the Japanese stone, it will get black, and then you can get it back to this color using the fine side of the stone, not the coarse side, of course. On both the SB and SG, this is the stone's best friend. It will keep them active, and you can go between 220 grit and 1,000 grit. So I never do sharpening without these ones.
So this is to change the grit. It's not to flatten the stone. That's what the diamond truing tool is for.
Exactly.
And so what does this do to it? It kind of burnishes it? I mean, how does it change grit of the stone?
The fine side is polishing the grits, and the coarse side is removing some of the binding, and we'll get new grit out. If you want some more coarse stone, you can actually hear it's gonna take away that binding, and you can actually feel it. Now I'll take the fine side. Hear the difference again in the sound. And even now I haven't done it all the way, but you can feel the difference.
So you're only doing about 10 seconds, and is that all it takes?
When you're getting used to it, it's not like always 220 or 1,000. You can do it in between, and it's also about the pressure you're using. So it's I would say I'm doing like between 10 and 20 seconds. If I have a tool that I really need to remove a lot of steel, I'll use it about 30 seconds just to be sure that it's fresh and activated. I know people think it's kind of magic, but it's pretty easy thinking. To make this work on every stone wasn't so easy, of course.
Now, is this really going to shorten the life at all of the stone itself?
No, it doesn't.
Well, so what I mean is I don't have to be afraid of if I'm going to grade it to the coarse, sharpening all my tools in the shop before I do it back to the fine, because it's not going to hurt to just go back and forth.
Not going to do anything. Anything extremely little. So it doesn't affect. I mean, you can take away with the diamond truer would take away a lot more steel even if you do the smallest amount. So don't be afraid to use this. It will actually make your tools better and finer and make everything a little bit faster.
So I understand you've replaced the T3 now with the T4. So can you help us to appreciate the changes?
We did a lot of work with the T7 or the old 2000 model, and the T3 was a little bit left by its own. The time came to do something with it, and we decided to make this a lot better, doing a solid zinc top where motor, shaft, sleeves, even a handle And by using zinc, it's made everything much more precise. So it's as good precise as the T7. Of course, we have a smaller stone and the same motor, runs about 10,000 hours. Needs a brake, but it's really for that do-it-yourself guy or semi-professional, or if you're into knife sharpening or you don't need everything that you need a T7 for. This is a perfect model now. Comes with the stone grader. The stone is the same as on the T7. So we have 220 grid and up to 1000. And flip that forwards and backwards. Just made everything better with this one.
Yeah, quite portability is nice with this.
It is smaller, of course. So and you can choose what you want to do with it. With the T7, the straight edge jig is following. On the T3, we did the same thing. But actually, customers told us that maybe they didn't just buy. They didn't want to sharpen chisels. So then they can buy what they want to sharpen and made their own perfect sharpening system.
Customize their own setup.
Customize their own setup.
So now how does it compare, of course, to your flagship model, the T7?
Well, the T7, of course, is larger stone, more efficient, almost twice as strong motor, so you can apply much more press on it. On the T7, you have a wider water tray with a magnet, so you don't get that, could call it debris falling up in the stone and make it brown. And of course, the honing wheel is bigger. This machine is for the schools or professionals. 10-year warranty. This is a 7 years warranty. We'll know they last for longer, but anyhow, that's the difference. And the T7, you will have some more accessories following it. The square edge jig, the diamond truing tool will come with it. Both machines come with the angle master, honing compound, even the handbook that I would say covers everything you want to sharpen. And of course, one thing we did with the T4 is we now have a magnets plate, so now you know where that angle master is. But I would say, very good machine, really proud of it, and those who buy this one, they would never regret it.
So I understand you have a new bar now that you can use with your bench grinder.
Yes, so people are buying tools or having damaged tools that they need to remove a lot of steel on. So then we thought, let's use the same system, the same support bar with the same jigs, so you can shape your tool and take away that metal you need to do, and then go over to the Tormek system and do the sharpening. You don't get them sharp on this regular ones. So this set is called the BGM 100. Comes in blocks. You can put it with instructions so it fits your machine. At the same time, we have a new little gadget accessory that works on your Wolverine system.
Cool.
So you just put it in and use the same setting. And of course, this is for shaping. You need to be afraid that you don't heat the steel. And then go over to wedge sharpening, the Tormek. This takes a couple of minutes. Perfect. This is for the really committed Tormek guys or schools or the ones who really want to have their stuff in the right place. We wanted to do a perfect Tormek cabinet to keep your stuff. There are a lot of drawers. It comes with empty inlays for the top of the T7, the HDK sets, and of course we have some extra drawers to maybe have some paper or an old planer you don't maybe use, or if you have some stuff up here also. So made perfectly, and of course the drawers are pull themselves in again, and you have a key so you can actually lock it up if you don't want somebody to use it.
And what's this over on the side for the stones?
Yeah, you can actually put your stones on the side if you want to. Also, it comes with a rubber mat that you can buy as an accessory. So if you don't need the cabinet, but let's say you will take the machine to the kitchen or on your bench, you can use this one and it will catch up if you will spill water. on this particular machine. I also have the rotation base that even works for the T4. Great stuff for a great man. That's how I think about it.
Well, it's for me then, I guess.
Okay.
Cut.